My goodness, Art, how you holding up, man?
Well, I tell you, it's been a wild one tonight, man. Crazy.
You play with fire, you're going to get burned. It finally happened for the Seahawks. We will break it all down coming up on
Portland is the 18th team in Major League Soccer.
It's the City Portland's championship.
It is great to be home.
Sports Sunday with Orlando Sanchez.
Woo-wee. Less than 2 weeks before the Pac-12 season begins and a major setback for the Ducks. The situation in Eugene after 5 positive COVID-19 tests. In Corvallis, Beavers fans will want to hear this. The offense shines in Oregon State scrimmage. What Coach Jonathan Smith is saying. And college basketball less than a month away, but the Portland Pilots are dealing with tight rules when it comes to practice. They're worried it could impact scheduled home games. What is good, everyone? Welcome to Sports Sunday. My name is Orlando Sanchez. Art Edwards managing to get 2 weeks of quarantining done.
You know.
What's going on, man?
Hey, I get it done fast. I'm in Portugal. That's where I am right now.
The
little race car action out there.
I don't see any race car action going on right now. Art
No,
Edwards is at the beach, man. He's lying to me.
There is a race going on there.
Right. Well, we're going to need your help. We've got some things to talk about. So let's kick off the show in the desert. You saw it right here on KGW. The Seahawks visiting the Arizona Cardinals, fresh off the bye week and the start of a tough schedule over the next month. First division game, and the Seahawks setting the tone early. Lots of Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett. First, the one-handed grab, then they cap off the opening drive with a touchdown. But the second quarter, and this could have been a disaster. Russell Wilson picked off by Budda Baker. But check out DK Metcalf. Imagine having that man chase you down. Next gen stats clocked him at over 22 miles per hour. He saves the touchdown. Could that have been the defensive play of the year? The Cardinals failed to score on the possession. Pace of this game crazy. Wilson to Lockett again. Perfect pass, perfect catch. Lockett had 133 yards in the first half alone. We'll just refer to this as the Tyler Lockett game, okay? Career high 200 yards. This on fourth down, and somehow, someway, keeps his feet in for his third touchdown of the game. Seahawks up by 10, but defense optional. The Cardinals reel off the next 10. Kyler Murray, he had it going on. And we are going to overtime and things getting busy. Russell Wilson picked off for the third time in this game. Such a pivotal moment in overtime. After missing the first field goal, Zane Gonzalez catches in from 48 yards out. Ball game. The Seahawks lose for the first time this season. Cardinals with the W, 37-34. All right, it is time to get instant reaction from Seahawks insider Joe Fann, who is live with us, NBC Sports Northwest. All right, Joe, instant reaction from you, man. What did you see out of this game?
Yeah, I think it's a game Seattle deserved to lose. You know, the offense wasn't good enough in the second half. Scoring just 7 points in the second half and overtime is not good enough. You know your defense is a liability. You know they're going to give up points. And so you have to find a way to get the job done offensively. They were given multiple chances in overtime, initially getting the ball to begin the overtime period, and then a second lease on life again when Zane Gonzalez missed the first field goal attempt in overtime. The pass rush for the Cardinals was fantastic in overtime. Vance Joseph, the MVP of that overtime period, and the Seahawks are perfect no more.
What did you think about the defense in this game? It's something that we've criticized over and over, Joe, and they needed to come up with a stop and just couldn't do it in the closing seconds.
Well, here's a stat for you. I mean, the Seahawks weren't credited with a single quarterback hit in that game. And that just goes to show you the pass rush has been an issue. It was an issue last year. It's an issue this year. And the Seahawks, with Bruce Irvin out and Darrell Taylor still on the shelf on NFI, they just simply don't have enough horses to get the job done. Penalties were a huge part of this game as well. Benson Mayowa, the big special teams penalty, the big penalty on Bobby Wagner. That was an iffy call, probably the wrong call. But those are the things that the Seattle Seahawks defense needs to go their way. And you see it late in the game, right? When the Cardinals need to go get a field goal at the end of the first or the end of the fourth quarter, that touchdown again when it was a 10-point game. Both those drives, you need someone to step up and just get to the quarterback. The Seahawks don't have that guy they can count on, and it showed up big time in this game.
We've complimented this team so much for being clutch and being really good in overtime or in crunch time situations, and now we're seeing them play with fire and get burned. Your thoughts on just playing these close games and them finally not being able to deliver?
Well, Russell Wilson made some bad decisions against the Vikings 2 weeks ago, and he made some bad decisions in this one. All 3 interceptions were really poor throws from him, and so he got bailed out a couple of times and still had a chance to be the hero. I think you look at that 3rd and 2 play at the end of regulation when they slowed a 3-point lead. They handed the ball off. I think a lot of people were hoping Russell Wilson had the ball in his hands there. That's play 1. Then you get the ball to start the third or to start overtime. And I think everyone is sitting at home saying Russell Wilson's going to get the job done. They're going to march down the field, score a touchdown, ball game over. You're 6-0 coming back home, getting on a flight back to Seattle. Then Zane Gonzalez misses the field goal, and you're saying, okay, now is the time Russell Wilson's going to come through. And they just couldn't do it. The pass rush was fantastic. The blitz calls were perfect from Vance Joseph. And, you know, Russell Wilson showed he's human. The numbers were big, 388 yards and 3 touchdowns, but he didn't make those clutch plays down the stretch. And again, 7 points in overtime and second half combined is absolutely unacceptable for what should be the best offense in football. And that's the story of the game in this one.
Seahawks unable to come through in crunch time, but Joe Fan with NBC Sports Northwest appreciate you as usual. Thanks for joining us on Sports Sunday, man.
Orlando, always a pleasure, man. Thank you.
All right. Art Edwards, it's time for us to talk about former Oregon Duck quarterback Justin Herbert, who secured his first win in the NFL. Herbert had a monster game against the Jacksonville Jaguars to help the Chargers to a 39-29 win. He threw for 347 yards, 3 touchdowns, and ran for another score. I mean, he was doing work. Justin Herbert is the only player since at least 1970 with 1,500 plus pass yards, 100 plus passer rating over his first 5 career games. Here's Herbert on the mic.
It's an awesome feeling, especially the way that things have happened over the past couple of weeks. It's good for us to get out there, execute, put together a full game, and defense stepped up big, and special teams as well, and put up points, and I think that's the most important thing.
Art, you happy for Herbert?
Yeah, I'm really happy for him. I mean, he just seems like such a good guy. You know, he really loves playing football, and you know, he's going to have that franchise going in the right direction. I think he's going to be the guy for a long time to come there for the Chargers.
It's a lot of fun to see another team really capture everyone's attention here in our area. So let's see what Herbert can do now. It's time to go for win number 2.
That's right.
It's time for Hyundai to take us around the NFL. We're looking at some of the day's best games on paper. The Steelers-Titans, best matchup of the week, and it did not disappoint. Both teams undefeated. Pittsburgh roared to a 24-7 lead at the half. Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers' offense looked pretty sharp. Tennessee rallied, though, to make it close. They missed a field goal in the final seconds, and the Steelers hold on to win it 27-24. Pittsburgh is undefeated at 6-0. Tennessee falls to 5-1. Art, are the Steelers for real?
Well, when I watched the first half of the ball game, I certainly thought they were for real. When I saw the second half of the game, I thought, yeah, maybe not so much. So we'll just have to see moving forward. Hey, we're going to make our way now to the Buckeye State and the Battle of Ohio between the Browns and the Bengals. Baker Mayfield overcame a terrible start in this one. Throw 5 touchdown passes, including the go-ahead score. That one right there with 15 seconds left in the game. Cleveland Browns outdueled the Cincinnati Bengals 37-34. You know, Joe Burrow wasn't bad in a losing effort. He threw for 406 yards and 3 touchdowns. Another rookie. Browns are 5-2. Orlando, are they a playoff contender?
It's hard for me to keep a straight face when you ask that question, but this team has gotten so much better. I just want to see them play well against the really good teams because they've been smoked against some of the top teams in that league.
Yes, they have. Hey, we're going to move on to the Mile High City, Denver, hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. Look at the weather in Denver.
What's going on?
It got snow. Didn't bother Clyde Edwards-Helaire. The man carved up the Broncos defense for the score. Look at that run. Kansas City rolls over the Broncos 43-16. They've won 10 straight against Denver. Chiefs are 6-1. You see a Super Bowl repeat for the Chiefs?
That team's really good. They got a guy named Patrick Mahomes, so they're always in it to win a Super Bowl now, man. All right, time for us to take a look at the teams and players who had good weeks and those who had not so good weeks. It's time for our heroes and zeros. What do we have this week? Oh, we're really going to do it to the Giants again?
Yes, we are.
Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones, I'm so sorry, but we start with Matthew Stafford, who came through at the right time for the Detroit Lions, connected with TJ Hockenson on an 11-yard touchdown as time expired. The Lions beat Atlanta 23-22.
Hey, Carson Wentz, he gets a hero mark as well.
He's
he helped
good.
The Eagles. Yeah, he's doing all right now. Pull off a last-second win over the Giants. Wentz hit Boston Scott with an 18-yard scoring strike to put the Eagles up on the Giants in the ballgame. Philadelphia won the game 22-21. Wentz threw for 359 yards and 2 touchdowns. Eagles lead the NFC East with a 2-4-1 record.
You just said they're leading that division,
Yes.
by the way. On to the zeros, and this one still has everybody laughing. Daniel Jones of the Giants takes off, looks like he gone, and the turf monster gets him. Oh, no. That is how you become an internet sensation right now. 80-yard run. He just needed a few more to seal the deal.
Man, look at his team laughing at him.
That's all you can do. You got to roast your boy.
That's right. Hey, our last zero of the week is Cam Newton. He was awful today against the 49ers. Newton got pulled from the game at the end of 3 quarters.
That's not good.
He was 9 of 15 for 98 yards and 3 interceptions. Niners rolled over the Patriots 33-6.
I can sense you smiling as you read that
You bet.
score, by the way. Still to come, it's easy to score when there's no defense. The Portland Pilots are dealing with some unusual conditions as they try and get ready for the season. The trouble they're dealing with. Plus, Jonathan Smith calls it one of the best scrimmages he's seen in Corvallis. Who stole the show as the Beavers scrimmaged last night? The season less than 2 weeks away.
Welcome back. You know, the college basketball season has the go-ahead to get started. They can start playing in November. The challenge for some of the schools, though, is practice. The men's and women's teams over the University of Portland have been practicing for about 10 days, but it's limited, really limited. There's no contact at all at any of the practices because of the rules here in the county. They do a lot of shooting drills and some 5-on-0 drills. The University of Portland can't even play games in the state of Oregon at this point. The Pilots athletic director says that they're working with state officials to be able to do the same kinds of things the Pac-12 schools can do.
For us not to be given a fair shake when our testing protocols are the same with the same testing machines as our friends from the Pac-12, I can't sit by and be quiet and deny our student athletes the opportunity to play in this state. In the meantime, our neighboring states are places that we can play games, and there's people willing to play us, and those are things we're working through right now.
And the athletic director, Lakem, says that they're going to be ready to play basketball at the end of November, wherever that may be.
Well, Art, COVID-19 has hit the Oregon Ducks football program just 2 weeks before its first game. 5 people tested positive yesterday. It's not clear if they're players or other staff. The positive tests caused the team to cancel last night's scrimmage.
Tomorrow we are testing the entire team again, which is normal policy anyways, and follow up, I believe, PCR test for the other guys that had tested positive as well. And then from there, we'll see what the next steps are in terms of when is the next time we do whatever as it relates to team activities.
And we are waiting to hear more from the team on those tests. Coach Mario Cristobal says the 5 people are asymptomatic. They're all in isolation and being monitored. Health officials are now in the process of contact tracing. The Ducks are set to open at home against Stanford on November 7th. All right, let's roll to Corvallis, Reser Stadium, pumped full of crowd noise this weekend. The Beavers had their second scrimmage of training camp. Head coach Jonathan Smith, he called it one of the better scrimmages since he's been there. He said the tackling was solid, pleased with the progress the offensive line is making. Linebacker Avery Roberts said the offense won the day. Running back Jamar Jefferson, he said he feels fresher than last year. That's a good sign. Quarterback Tristan Gebbia, he hasn't been named the starter, but he's in the driver's seat. Jonathan Smith liked his accuracy. And freshman receiver, that man Zariah Beeson, he continues to impress. Bottom line, it was a good weekend for the Oregon State offense.
honestly very pleased. I thought it was clean football. Did some really good things offensively from the start. Overall, really pleased. Thought it was one of our better scrimmages since I've been here.
In a matter of 1 week, I think it was a great turnaround for us, and really a testament to our coaches and to our mindset that, hey, we got to pick this up, and what do we want to be known for here at Oregon State? And so it was a pride thing for us this week.
Looking forward to seeing them play on November 7th. 2 weeks away. All right, get this, folks. Tonight marks 34 years since Bill Buckner and his infamous play in the 1986 World Series. We may have a play to top that. Just maybe. If you missed it, what everyone is talking about, if you saw, you know you want to relive it. Don't go away.
Jansen. That is into center field. Here comes Kiermaier. Phillips has tied the game. Arroyo's Arena coming around. Throw home. Now he stumbles. But the ball gets away. Tampa Bay wins it. Brett Phillips, Game 4 hero.
Total chaos. Joe Buck with an amazing call. Oh, man, there was 2 outs, bottom of the 9th. The Dodgers leading the Rays, and rookie sensation Randy Arozarena. He fell down, and he still managed to score. And just like that, Tampa Bay wins the game 8-7 to even the series at 2 games each. It's also your Toyota Sunday sizzle. Art, what'd you think when you saw this play?
Man, when I saw that play, I couldn't believe it. It took a while to figure it out, and then I was like, wait a minute. That can't be.
I was screaming in my apartment as that play was unraveling. I couldn't believe all of the crazy things that happened to make that game finish.
It was something else.
Oh, man. Okay, well, that brings us to tonight. Game 5 just wrapped up, and the Dodgers take it 4-2. They are up 3-2 in the series, 1 win away from winning it all. Game 6 is Tuesday. All right, let's kick it for a minute. The Portland Thorns didn't waste any time making a splash this offseason. They landed a big-time player. Let's meet the newest member of the Thorns, midfielder Crystal Dunn. Her resume legit, World Cup champ, on the U.S. women's national team, a former NWSL most valuable player. She also won back-to-back championships with the North Carolina Courage. The Thorns gave up a first-round pick, more than $200,000 in allocation money, and an international slot to get her. Dunn wanted to be closer to her family. Her husband is a trainer with the Thorns.
I'm playing for a team that I never thought that I'd play for. I was always the one competing against them and wanting to take them out. And I'm looking forward to it, to be able to, wear that jersey and have the fans cheering my name now and cheering for me is going to be definitely a really great feeling.
I know the Thorns are excited to have her. The NWSL expansion draft is November 12th as Louisville joins the league. We'll be right back. All right, Art, I guess you can go back to the beach now.
That's right, back to the beach in Portugal.
Nicely done. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. That does it for Sports Sunday, and we leave you with our Plays of the Week.
Champion, my opponents hate it. The throne is sure to take it. So taste it like. Oh my gosh.